Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash, double honors to apostles and elders, great most son that rule well, and Shalom to the brothers doing my concerning truth. Um, yeah, we basically got, from what it looks like, on the wires at least, a new, pandemic cooking, and, no surprise, it's starting in China again. And it's funny because the movie Contagion that came out like a while back now. That one was similar where like with C-19 where you had it like pick up, it only really became a thing kind of down the line, even though it was people kind of aware of it somewhat, but it didn't really become a thing for most people until it got some legs on it and gone overseas. It was the same thing in that movie where it started. At the end, they have like the little flashback where it goes to damn. They have the little flashback at the end, so it goes like to where the origin was, because I think it was like what's her name, Gwyneth Paltrow. Was I think was I believe the one that brought it over, and it was like she was having dinner in China somewhere, and then like it was some pigs that did it, and it was like the chef was massacring the pigs. So he didn't wash his hands when she went to like meet the chef and shake his hand or something to that. I can't remember if shake his hand or hug or something. I think it was shake his hand and took a picture with him, and then that's how she got infected. And then she brought it over, and it kind of spread from there. Like it was a few people like that. So it's funny because China's always kind of like been the focal point, and then this one again was to say, experts warn Europe to prepare for worst case scenario over China outbreak. Again, it's popping off in China, and the thing with these is just like with the movie where it was like she was infected, she wasn't actively sick when she came over. It was only after she got here, in the movie she dropped dead. And then like, with C-19, it got over here and then got legs. And I remember it was like the first few, like, what was it? February into like early March, it was just kind of saying like, okay, first case in this country, first case in this country, X amount of cases in this country. This city's got it in the UK. They're like, okay, they got it in London. Okay, we got it here, we got it here. And then the shit had gone gangbusters. So people, and the funny thing, well, now it's fresh. People have seen it. People kind of know where it is, so they're kind of looking at it like, okay. And that's the thing. It's funny because the winter we had over here, I think it was like we had really warm weather up until like early November, which for the UK is fucking weird. Normally it gets wet, gets cold, but now it's the chill set in a lot, and I noticed a lot of people getting sick because like it was warmer than usual, and now the chill set in. There's people. So you can easily see this shit popping off. So let's say health experts raise alarm bells by warning Europe could be venturing into the unknown with the Chinese pneumonia outbreak. Says China's pneumonia outbreak has prompted a health expert to warn about the impending outbreak in Europe. The mystery respiratory illness is currently sweeping China, leaving hospitals overrun with sick children and schools closed. There's now worry that the outbreak has hit Europe, with the Netherlands experiencing a shocking wave of pneumonia cases among children. And it's like, because it's children, off the back of that, they can push a lot. To say, oh, there's where's the clip? Will someone please think of the children? That's, but hey, we'll see. We'll see what legs this kind of legs it's got. So it says people are now starting to worry a new pandemic is on the horizon. Just a few years after the COVID, the C global pandemic started. In the wake of these growing concerns, a health expert has told the Daily Express that Europe must ramp up its preventive measures as readiness of healthcare systems to deal with the outbreak is being overlooked. Dr. Joseph and Barney. It's funny because over here we're having what is it? In the UK, they're having an inquiry into what happened during like the outbreak, and the actions that like Boris Johnson took, the actions like Matt Hancock, who was health secretary at the time. All these, they're basically going into it and dredging up what happened. So they might be like, look, we need to set up a government body. We set up the umbrella corporation to deal with this, or so. That's they might either set up a government body or get like a company to kind of deal with it externally. That's why we got to see what kind of legs it's got, because off the back of like of C-19, they've more or less got what do you call it, not a prototype, a framework. They've kind of got a mold to follow that everyone's gonna fall into, because they it became normalized, man. It was that new normal where everyone was walking around with masks, everyone was socially distancing, staying at home, the work from home, so that and the thing is, it's coming into winter, so boy. Says he told the Daily Express US, understand whether it's a novel strain or mutation of an existing virus is critical. This knowledge shapes our predictions about its spread and virulence. If it's a novel virus, we're venturing into the unknown with potential for both high virulence and lack of immunity in the population. Currently, China is saying the respiratory illness is coming from bacterial infection, RSV, influenza, and common cold. But there is mounting concern that they're downplaying its severity, and yeah, that's what China's been doing. It's funny as well, because after right when it started, the pandemic, people saying, oh, the origin was China, a lab in China where it was being researched. And you had the big push, like, no, you're not allowed to say that. If you'll mention that in the video, you're getting zapped off YouTube. Like, accounts are getting swatted, getting thunderbolts dashed at them, left, right, and center. For basically repeating these things. And now it's like the government's come out and said, they did it. The U.S. government come out and investigated that shit as well, and said the exact same shit as well. So it's just you're looking at it, you're like, it's a mess. But yeah. Well, after C-19's happened, now it's a thing, man. It's a thing. You can get peak easily. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And yeah, these things are going to be utilized swiftly. Because when you deal with C-19, it's like, well, that thing was not even, I think it was less than 1%, what's it called, mortality rate. But off the back of it, it worked legendarily. And like this, China saying this one thing, it could be more than what they're saying. It could be just be what they're saying. Like it's just kind of standard. Might just be, the weather took a turn or whatever. But it can, regardless of the reality of what it is, perception can be utilized, especially because it's all been done with C-19 before. 2 Corinthians 16 and 17, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, the beginning, you know, that famine, that great death, those wars, it's all in the midst. But it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, these things are sent as scourges, when those plagues are sent as scourges. Oh, them getting plagued, it's spiritual. That's for you to discern what's going down. You need spiritual eyes and spiritual understanding to realize what's going on. And now we're seeing it, man. But it says, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's the real. They'll just look as like, okay, we're just gonna cure. Not always indicative of further things happening. Same thing with what's going on in the Middle East. You've got conflict, it's going down. Then you think like, okay, what's going on with that? Lo and behold, it means there's more going on. Because why? It's essentially Yahweh Hashem Yahushai preparing, for his son to come down, preparing for that hour of temptation, preparing for prophecies, those final prophecies, that immutable rice grain, the MOTB, World War III, hour of temptation. These things are now at the door, man. But yeah, Isaiah 30:9, it says that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord Jehovah, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. And that's the mindset of a lot of Jake. These things are happening. They're not looking to hear it, man. Just as you've always had you've had the 2/3, you've had those that aren't of the elect, where they're always slowing up progress, man. They want to hear them smooth things. They want that butter smooth word. That's what up in the church, that listening to man who say, get that blessing, you gonna get that money. That's what you gonna get, that cash. That's what the mindset of what they're chasing, what they're thinking, focusing on. But what does it say? Get you out of the path, turn aside, get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us. Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because you despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant. And yeah, that's really what Jake having to do. What? Trust in oppression and perverseness, which is why who they going to? They're running to Cain, man. They're running to Esau. They're going under that spirit, as where it's meant to be, what, a shield, covering, a guard onto them at present. But they don't realize that that wing they're running under. It's been marked, man. The whole bird's been marked, man. The whole kingdom, the whole society's been marked. It's basically been, it's going to be sealed to the history books, man. It's going to be done away with. It's going to be spoken of as an article of the past. And that's what's coming against it. But yeah, I'll leave it there.